They had it all: blockbuster careers, red carpet fame, and millions of fans hanging on their every move. But behind the glamour, these Hollywood stars were hiding secrets that would eventually catch up with them. Today, they're not posing for cameras, they're serving time. In this video, we dive into 23 shocking Hollywood scandals that ended in handcuffs. From TV legends to movie icons, find out what really happened and how their lives unraveled behind closed doors. Even the most seasoned pop culture fans won't see these twists coming. Danny Masterson. Danny Masterson rose to fame as the sarcastic Stephen Hyde on That 70s Show, earning a loyal fan base and a steady Hollywood career. He later starred in Men at Work and reunited with Ashton Kutcher in Netflix's The Ranch, cementing his place in television comedy. But off-camera, a deeply troubling story was quietly unfolding, one that would ultimately end his career and his freedom. In 2017, Masterson was thrust into the spotlight again, but not for acting. 3 women accused him of rape, claiming the assaults occurred between 2001 and 2003 at his home, often when they were under the influence and unable to consent. Masterson denied the allegations, but the LAPD launched an investigation that refused to fade. He was formally charged with 3 counts of rape. His first trial ended in a deadlock, but the second was damning. Masterson was found guilty on 2 counts and sentenced to 30 years to life, with parole off the table for at least 25 years. The scandal grew even darker due to Masterson's involvement with the Church of Scientology. The victims, also former members, alleged the church tried to silence them, discouraging them from reporting the crimes. While the church denied the claims, the controversy sparked fierce debate across media and celebrity interviews alike. Now imprisoned in California, Danny Masterson stands as a stark example of how fame can't shield someone from justice, and how hidden abuse can erupt into public reckoning. Joe Sun. Joe Sun was once chasing stardom in Hollywood, blending martial arts with minor film roles. Born in South Korea and raised in the US, he briefly entered the spotlight with a stint in UFC 3 and roles alongside action stars like Lorenzo Lamas and Dolph Lundgren. His most recognizable appearance came in 1997, playing the bizarre henchman Random Task in Austin Powers, International Man of Mystery, a cult classic that gave him brief notoriety. But behind the on-screen tough guy persona was a far more disturbing reality. In 2008, a minor arrest for vandalism led to a DNA sample and a horrifying revelation. That sample connected Sun to a cold case from Christmas Eve 1990, when a 19-year-old woman was abducted and subjected to a nightmarish assault. Charged and convicted of torture, he was sentenced to life with a minimum of 7 years. Shockingly, just 1 month into his sentence, Sun beat a fellow inmate to death, adding 27 more years to his prison term. His descent from cult film fame to life behind bars is one of the most disturbing Hollywood scandals in recent memory, a chilling example of a public figure whose dark past finally caught up with him. Before that, where in the world are you tuning in from? Share your country below. I genuinely love reading your comments. Thanks again. Michael Jace. Michael Jace carved out a respected spot in television history, best known for his role as Officer Julian on the hit series The Shield. With appearances in iconic films like Forrest Gump and Boogie Nights, he built a solid career in the entertainment world. But everything came crashing down one night in 2014, a moment that would permanently alter his life and devastate those around him. In a sudden emotional breakdown at his Los Angeles home, Jace lost control during a heated argument with his wife, April, an admired schoolteacher and former athlete. In front of their 2 young sons, he took actions that would leave deep emotional wounds and irreparable damage to their family. Authorities later cited overwhelming personal stress as a possible cause, but the consequences were irreversible. Jace was held fully accountable in court and received a sentence of 40 years to life. He broke down during the proceedings, admitting, "There's no justification." Now behind bars in California, Jace's fall is one of the most haunting Hollywood scandals of recent years, proof that beneath the surface of fame, unimaginable pain can unfold behind closed doors. Ryan Grantham. Ryan Grantham was on the brink of a breakthrough. With over 30 acting credits and memorable performances in Diary of a Wimpy Kid, The Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus, and Riverdale, he was quickly becoming a familiar face in Hollywood. Charming, talented, and building a strong following, Grantham seemed destined for long-term success. But in 2020, his life and career took a shocking and heartbreaking turn. At just 21 years old, Grantham was involved in a deeply troubling incident inside his family home in British Columbia, one that stunned fans and sent shockwaves through the entertainment industry. Rather than flee, he turned himself in immediately. During the legal process, it was revealed that he had been battling intense emotional struggles, including severe depression and overwhelming thoughts of self-harm. Grantham expressed sincere remorse and took full accountability for what had happened. The court recognized the role mental health played in his decline, but ultimately sentenced him to a lengthy term in prison. He will be eligible for parole after serving the required minimum. Once a promising young star, Ryan Grantham is now at the center of one of the most tragic Hollywood scandals in recent years, a sobering reminder of how inner battles, left unspoken, can lead to irreversible consequences. Zack Avery. Zack Avery, whose real name is Zachary Horwitz, wasn't just building an acting career, he was crafting an illusion. On the surface, he appeared to be a rising Hollywood star, walking red carpets and landing modest film roles. But behind the polished image was a massive, carefully constructed financial hoax that stunned both investors and industry veterans. Beginning in 2015, Horwitz pitched himself as a savvy film distributor, boasting ties with major platforms like HBO and Netflix. He claimed to be brokering international rights to popular films, using that pitch to lure more than 250 investors into his company, one NMM Capital. In reality, many of the films he cited had no distribution deals, some barely existed at all. Horwitz created fake contracts and elaborate email trails to maintain the illusion. As the money poured in, he used it to fund a lavish lifestyle, luxury properties, expensive cars, and even private jets. But in 2021, the scheme collapsed. The FBI stepped in, and by 2022, he was sentenced to 20 years in federal prison, with an order to repay $230 million in restitution. Zack Avery's shocking double life sent waves through the entertainment world. His downfall became a topic of headlines and celebrity interviews, a sobering reminder that in Hollywood, not all that glitters is gold. Timothy Zickuhr. Timothy Zickuhr earned his moment of fame navigating perilous routes on ice road truckers, captivating viewers with high-risk hauls and raw grit. But his reality TV success was short-lived, eclipsed by a real-life scandal that would end his career and stain his public image. It all began with a dispute over missing money. Zickuhr accused a woman of taking funds from his account and arranged a meeting to settle the issue. But instead of resolving things calmly, he made a reckless decision that turned a simple conflict into a serious situation. He reportedly restrained the woman and demanded repayment, escalating the tension with aggressive threats. In a twist straight out of a crime thriller, the woman gave Zickuhr a fake phone number, one that belonged to law enforcement. When he called and made demands, he unknowingly alerted the very people who would bring him down. Police quickly organized a sting, and Zickuhr was arrested during his attempt to collect the money. He later admitted to his actions and was convicted. The fall was swift and severe. Once a fan favorite for his grit on icy roads, Zickuhr became a cautionary tale featured in Hollywood gossip headlines, a stark reminder that impulsive choices can derail even the most rugged image in an instant. Jen Shah. Jen Shah wasn't just another reality TV personality. She was a larger-than-life figure on The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, famous for her bold attitude, extravagant spending, and love of red carpet fashion. But behind the luxury cars, designer outfits, and fierce one-liners, a troubling reality was quietly unfolding. In March 2021, Shah was arrested in connection with a sweeping telemarketing operation that targeted some of the most vulnerable people across the country. Authorities revealed that she and her assistant had been running a scheme that promised fake business services, draining the savings of elderly individuals who believed they were getting legitimate help. One woman, Tricia, lost nearly $50,000. Another, a retired veteran, was taken for over $100,000, his family later attributing his declining health to the emotional toll of the scam. What shocked investigators even more were Shah's private messages, where she reportedly made light of her victim's suffering. Though she initially maintained her innocence, Shah changed course in July 2022 and pleaded guilty. The court sentenced her to 6.5 years in federal prison. She's now serving time at Bryan Federal Prison in Texas, with a parole review possible in 2028. Jared Fogle. For over a decade, Jared Fogle was the unexpected star of one of the most successful marketing campaigns in fast food history. After reportedly losing more than 200 pounds by eating Subway sandwiches, he became the face of the brand, appearing in commercials, school tours, and countless celebrity interviews. From 2000 to 2015, he was celebrated as a symbol of transformation and clean living. But in 2015, that carefully crafted image collapsed. A federal investigation into his charity, the Jared Foundation, which claimed to promote youth health, revealed disturbing activity behind the scenes. What emerged was a hidden life that shocked the nation and left both fans and corporate partners stunned. Fogle pleaded guilty in court and was sentenced to 15 years and 8 months in federal prison. He is currently serving time at Englewood Federal Correctional Facility in Colorado and will be eligible for parole review in 2029. Once viewed as an inspiring success story, Jared Fogle's downfall became one of the most unsettling cases of public betrayal in recent memory. A harsh reminder that image can be deceiving and trust, once broken, is nearly impossible to repair. Todd and Julie Chrisley. Todd and Julie Chrisley rose to reality TV fame with Chrisley Knows Best, showcasing a life of Southern charm, sharp wit, and lavish living. Their brand was built on family values and financial success, but behind the designer clothes and picture-perfect image, a hidden truth was quietly unraveling. In 2019, federal authorities exposed what had been going on behind the scenes. The couple was indicted on a string of financial crimes, including falsifying documents to secure over $30 million in loans and concealing massive earnings from their hit show. They also failed to pay nearly $2 million in taxes, all while continuing to flaunt their wealth on screen. After a high-profile 3-week trial, the verdict was clear. Todd was sentenced to 12 years in federal prison, and Julie received 7. He's currently serving time in Pensacola, Florida, while Julie is incarcerated in Mariana. The Chrisley's sharp fall became a hot topic in Hollywood gossip, as fans grappled with the contrast between their public image and private actions. Their story serves as a cautionary tale. When the spotlight shines too bright, even the smallest cracks in the foundation are eventually exposed. Do you think Todd and Julie Chrisley deserved their prison sentence, or were they just easy targets because of their fame? Type yes if justice was served, no if you think they were unfairly punished. Jerry Harris. Jerry Harris shot to stardom with his unforgettable presence on Netflix's Cheer. As a key member of the Navarro College cheerleading team, his charisma, energy, and uplifting spirit made him an instant fan favorite. He became a household name almost overnight, appearing in national media, landing endorsement deals, and even sitting down for high-profile celebrity interviews, including a spotlight moment on The Ellen DeGeneres Show. But in September 2020, the uplifting story took a devastating turn. Allegations surfaced that led to a federal investigation, shaking the cheerleading world and entertainment industry alike. Harris later pleaded guilty to charges that stemmed from the case, marking a dramatic fall from grace. He is now serving a sentence in federal prison, his once bright future completely derailed. The Jerry Harris story stands as a sobering example that no level of fame protects someone from consequences, and that true success demands not just talent but integrity and personal accountability. Darren Sharper. Darren Sharper was once a revered name in professional football. Over 14 seasons with the Packers, Vikings, and Saints, He earned 5 Pro Bowl selections, 2 All-Pro honors, and helped lead New Orleans to an unforgettable Super Bowl victory after Hurricane Katrina. Known for his athleticism and leadership, Sharper's career seemed destined for the Hall of Fame. But in 2014, his legacy was shattered. A series of allegations emerged from multiple cities, leading to a multi-state investigation that uncovered disturbing behavior. The details shocked fans in the sports world, turning admiration into disbelief. By 2016, Sharper was convicted after extensive legal proceedings and was sentenced to a long-term federal prison stay. His rapid fall from NFL icon to inmate became one of the most talked-about Hollywood scandals tied to the world of sports, an example of how quickly reputation can dissolve when ethics are abandoned. Sharper's story serves as a stark reminder. No amount of fame, success, or accolades can shield someone from accountability. In the end, it's character, not championships, that defines a lasting legacy. Gary Glitter. Gary Glitter was once a glam rock icon, dominating the UK music scene in the 1970s and 80s with his flashy stage presence and unforgettable hits. His concerts drew massive crowds, and his persona became a symbol of an era. But as time went on, the spotlight turned harsh, exposing a personal life that would erase any trace of musical legacy. In 2015, Glitter was sentenced to 16 years in prison following a major trial in the UK. The charges stemmed from long-standing investigations into serious misconduct, and the verdict marked a long-overdue moment of accountability. For many, it was the collapse of a man once idolized on stage. In February 2023, he was released on parole, but the return to freedom didn't last. After violating the terms of his release, he was sent back to prison, where he's expected to remain until around 2031. Gary Glitter's dramatic fall from fame became one of the most disturbing Hollywood scandals tied to the music world. His story is a cautionary tale that no level of celebrity can erase the consequences of personal actions, and that the truth always finds its way to the surface. Skyler Deleon. Skyler Deleon, born John Julius Jacobson Jr., once had a fleeting appearance on Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, a blink-and-you'll-miss-it role. But nothing in fiction could match the darkness of his real-life story. Behind the scenes, Deleon's life was marked by chaos, a traumatic childhood, shifting identities, and multiple legal name changes that hinted at deep-rooted instability. After a brief, troubled stint in the U.S. Navy, cut short by repeated absences, Deleon attempted to settle down. He married, had children, and tried to build a future. But as financial pressures mounted, desperation took over. What began as small-time fraud spiraled into something far more sinister. In one of the most disturbing cases of the early 2000s, Skyler and his then-wife lured a retired couple onto a yacht under the guise of a sail. Once at sea, the couple was restrained and cast overboard, vanishing without a trace. Though their bodies were never recovered, testimony from a key witness exposed the chilling plan and led to Deleon's conviction. Now on death row, Skyler Deleon's shocking transformation from child actor to inmate sits among the most jaw-dropping Hollywood scandals to ever blur the line between fame and infamy. His story is a chilling reminder that true darkness often hides in plain sight. Kanye Walker. Kanye Walker, a 27-year-old rapper and actor, once seemed destined for stardom, until a high-profile case turned his rising career into one of the most disturbing Hollywood scandals in recent memory. A Los Angeles court sentenced him to 50 years to life after finding him guilty on multiple serious charges involving both adults and minors. Authorities revealed that Walker used social media to lure aspiring models, painting a chilling picture of manipulation behind the spotlight. Though some charges were dismissed and appeals are underway, the case sent shockwaves through the industry. One survivor, Sydney Stanford, has since become a strong advocate for justice, pushing for safer digital spaces and ethical accountability. Walker's fall is a sobering reminder that fame offers no protection from the consequences of one's actions. Harvey Weinstein. Harvey Weinstein was once one of the most powerful names in Hollywood. As the co-founder of Miramax, he helped shape modern cinema, producing Oscar-winning hits like Pulp Fiction, Shakespeare in Love, and Good Will Hunting. For decades, he held immense influence, opening doors for filmmakers, launching stars, and controlling the spotlight behind the scenes. But in 2017, that towering legacy crumbled almost overnight. A groundbreaking investigation by the New York Times sparked a wave of allegations from dozens of women, many of whom worked directly with Weinstein. These reports, later expanded by The New Yorker, unveiled deeply disturbing behavior that had allegedly been hidden for years. Public figures and industry veterans spoke out, some for the first time, leading to a media firestorm and emotional celebrity interviews that captivated global audiences. Weinstein was ultimately found guilty in New York and sentenced to 23 years in prison. As additional charges followed in Los Angeles and the UK, his downfall became one of the most dramatic in entertainment history. In 2023, he received a second lengthy sentence in California, ensuring he will remain behind bars for decades. Now incarcerated in Mohawk Correctional Facility, Weinstein's fall from grace is not just personal, it reshaped the industry. His case became a turning point, fueling global calls for accountability and forever changing how power is viewed in Hollywood. Comment 1. If you think the Weinstein verdict actually changed Hollywood, or 0. If you think the industry is still protecting predators behind the scenes. Shannon Richardson. Shannon Richardson was a name few recognized beyond small roles on shows like The Walking Dead and The Vampire Diaries. But in 2013, she stepped into the national spotlight for reasons that had nothing to do with acting. What unfolded next became one of the most bizarre and chilling Hollywood scandals tied to a TV actress in recent history. In a shocking scheme, Richardson mailed letters containing a highly dangerous substance to President Barack Obama, New York Mayor Michael Bloomberg, and other prominent figures. The motive? To frame her estranged husband amid a bitter separation. At first, she claimed he was behind it, but investigators quickly unraveled the truth. The FBI traced the materials, online searches, and physical evidence directly back to Richardson herself. Her elaborate attempt to dodge blame collapsed under the weight of undeniable proof. She ultimately pleaded guilty and was sentenced to 18 years in federal prison. Her case left the public stunned, an eerie reminder of how quickly personal chaos can spiral into national crisis. Today, Shannon Richardson remains behind bars, her story etched into the darker side of Hollywood's legacy. Jonathan War Machine Koppenhaver. Jonathan Koppenhaver, better known by his MMA name War Machine, was once a rising force in the cage. With 14 victories and a fierce reputation, he made waves in the UFC, Bellator, and on The Ultimate Fighter. His aggressive style and unfiltered attitude earned him both fans and notoriety in the world of mixed martial arts. But in 2014, everything changed, and not inside the ring. In a shocking and deeply disturbing turn of events, Koppenhaver was arrested after a violent outburst involving his former partner and another individual. The incident left both victims with serious injuries and sparked national outrage. It marked the end of his fighting career and the beginning of a very different life behind bars. Prosecutors charged him with 31 offenses, and after a lengthy trial, he was sentenced to life in prison, with no chance of parole until 2046. His downfall was one of the most unsettling stories to intersect sports and Hollywood scandals, a grim example of how unchecked aggression can destroy lives both inside and outside the spotlight. Today, War Machine remains incarcerated, his legacy forever scarred by the choices that cost him everything. Kris Wu. Kris Wu rose to international fame as a member of the popular K-pop group EXO before breaking out on his own. With starring roles in blockbuster films like XXX, Return of Xander Cage and Valerian, and The City of a Thousand Planets, Wu became a global sensation, blending music, fashion, and film into a powerhouse brand. But in 2021, his glamorous image crumbled under the weight of shocking accusations that would dominate headlines across Asia and beyond. Beijing police detained the Chinese-Canadian star in July 2021, following claims that quickly became one of the most explosive cases involving a celebrity in years. Authorities launched an in-depth investigation, and by November 2022, Wu was sentenced to 13 years in prison. The charges involved serious misconduct spanning multiple incidents. After serving his term, he is also expected to be deported. Wu appealed, but in November 2023, a higher court reaffirmed the original sentence, stating the evidence was clear and the ruling just. The scandal sent shockwaves through the entertainment industry and ignited fierce debates across social media and Hollywood gossip circles alike. Once celebrated for his talent and style, Kris Wu's name now serves as a powerful warning about accountability and the collapse of fame built on shaky foundations. Joe Exotic. Joe Exotic, better known to the world as the Tiger King, once captured attention with his wild personality, bleach blonde mullet, and obsession with exotic animals. As the owner of the GW Zoo in Oklahoma, he built a bizarre empire filled with rare big cats, eccentric shows, and a string of jaw-dropping controversies. But Joe wasn't content with just being a zookeeper. He also ran for president in 2016 and for governor of Oklahoma in 2018, determined to become a larger-than-life figure in American pop culture. But behind the spectacle was a storm brewing. In 2019, Joe's world imploded when he was convicted on multiple charges involving animal mistreatment and a dangerous plot against longtime rival Carole Baskin, an animal rights activist who had publicly challenged his zoo's operations. The feud between them, years in the making, turned into a media firestorm. Sentenced to 22 years in federal prison, Joe Exotic's saga exploded into the global spotlight with Netflix's hit documentary Tiger King, which transformed him from a niche character into a household name. Through viral clips, courtroom drama, and intense celebrity interviews, the world watched as Joe's chaotic empire unraveled. Now serving time in a Texas federal facility, Joe Exotic remains one of the most talked-about figures in modern media, a surreal example of what happens when fame, obsession, and personal rivalry spiral out of control. Toby Willis. Toby Willis led the beloved Willis clan, a musical family that charmed audiences on America's Got Talent and their own TLC reality show. Their image of unity and talent won hearts across the country until it all fell apart. In 2016, a legal investigation in Tennessee exposed dark secrets that brought the family's world crashing down. The show was canceled, and Toby was later sentenced to prison on serious charges involving his family. Once a symbol of wholesome entertainment, Willis became the center of one of the most shocking Hollywood scandals in reality TV history. Today, he's serving time, his legacy forever changed. Suge Knight. Suge Knight, the powerhouse behind Death Row Records, helped shape West Coast hip-hop in the 1990s, launching legends like Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, and Tupac. But while his influence in music was undeniable, his reputation was long shadowed by controversy. In 2015, Knight made headlines after a confrontation on a movie set ended in tragedy. He struck two men with his vehicle, one fatally, and the incident, tied to the Straight Outta Compton film, sent shockwaves through the industry. Convicted of manslaughter in 2018, Knight was sentenced to 28 years behind bars. His fall remains one of the most talked-about cases in Hollywood gossip circles, a cautionary tale of power turned destructive. Drew Drechsel. Drew Drechsel was once hailed as the ultimate champion on American Ninja Warrior, a symbol of strength, agility, and determination. With fans across the nation and a celebrated win under his belt, he appeared unstoppable. But behind the fame, a hidden controversy was brewing, one that would bring his public image crashing down in the most shocking way. In a dramatic fall from grace, Drechsel found himself entangled in a high-profile legal case that led to serious federal charges. The situation stemmed from an encounter during a fan event, where his actions would later come under investigation. As details emerged, the headlines exploded, and producers swiftly cut ties with him ahead of season 12. Held at a federal facility in Philadelphia, Drechsel eventually entered a guilty plea to multiple charges connected to the case. The allegations included the creation and distribution of prohibited content and attempts to involve others in unlawful behavior, charges that prompted swift backlash and a deep sense of betrayal from fans. Though Drechsel claimed he was unaware of certain facts at the time, the court didn't accept that as a defense. Now he faces the reality of a lengthy sentence and lasting damage to both his career and reputation. His case has sparked intense debates in news cycles and celebrity interviews, serving as a sobering lesson on the weight of responsibility that comes with public fame. The whispers have become a roar, the rumors a tidal wave. For decades, Diddy has reigned supreme, a kingmaker and a legend, shrouded in an aura of both undeniable success and unsettling mystery. But now, the curtain is rising, revealing a dark underbelly to the empire. The feds have moved, and the indictment against Diddy is just the beginning. This isn't just about one man. It's a sprawling web of alleged crimes, power plays, and shocking betrayals that reaches the very heart of Hollywood's elite. We're diving headfirst into the scandal that's shaking the foundations of the industry. A story of alleged poisonings, suspicious deaths, and the untold secrets of Diddy's infamous parties. Are you ready to uncover the truth about all the celebs going down with Diddy? Hip-hop icon. Diddy finds himself embroiled in a significant legal battle, accused of criminal conduct occurring over an extended period. A federal indictment indicates that these alleged activities were not carried out solo, leading to questions regarding the involvement of others. According to prosecuting attorney Damon Williams, the investigation remains active, focusing not only on Diddy but also on any individuals who may have collaborated with him. Known for its thoroughness, the Southern District of New York's involvement suggests the prosecution possesses compelling evidence against Diddy. This raises concerns about which individuals within Diddy's inner circle might be entangled in the legal proceedings and what illicit activities transpired at his notorious freak-off gatherings. Diddy's white parties were generally public events, but the subsequent after-parties were a different story altogether. Exclusive affairs shrouded in rumors of illicit and shocking activities. Speculation surrounding these private gatherings has persisted for years, fueled by occasional hints and veiled references from Diddy and members of his entourage. This investigation will dissect the accusations leveled against Diddy, scrutinize his connections within the entertainment industry, and assess which individuals in his orbit could potentially face indictment based on their alleged participation in the purported criminal activities. Our primary objective is to unravel the truth behind the infamous freak-off parties and unearth any previously missed clues that might shed light on the scope of the alleged illegal acts. Forgotten interviews, deleted tweets, substantiated conspiracies, and court records, both from Diddy's current indictment and previous legal battles, offer fresh perspectives on the enigmas surrounding the music mogul. Taken together, these pieces of evidence paint a troubling picture of alleged abuse, blackmail, and concerted efforts to conceal the truth. Deciphering the possible involvement of other prominent figures in these alleged offenses requires looking beyond Diddy's meticulously crafted public persona. He's recently embraced roles as a mentor, a dedicated family man, and even a concerned father navigating his daughter's romantic relationships. However, this carefully constructed image stands in stark contrast to his history. Prior to this image makeover, Diddy was deeply entangled in a hostile rap rivalry with Suge Knight, currently incarcerated and now divulging new details. Furthermore, Diddy's name has surfaced in connection with a series of questionable deaths, as documented in earlier investigations. Notably, these deceased individuals often had ties to Diddy and were involved in projects like tell-all books or documentaries, leading to speculation about possible motives for their silencing. The emergence of this new evidence adds significant weight to the accusations against Diddy and reinforces the importance of thoroughly investigating his past and present conduct for any potential criminal activity. Adding another layer of complexity to this unfolding narrative is the death of Kim Porter, Diddy's former partner and mother of his children. Porter, who was reportedly working on a tell-all book and allegedly possessed information about an explicit tape involving Diddy and his one-time mentor, Andre Harrell, died unexpectedly at the age of 47 from pneumonia. However, Diddy's former assistant, Jaguar Wright, claims that Porter's toxicology report revealed the presence of substances suggesting poisoning, raising questions about the true nature of her passing. Intriguingly, Kris Jenner's partner, Corey Gamble, was present at the location of Porter's death. This detail suggests a broader web of connections between Diddy and other high-profile individuals, including members of the Kardashian family, further complicating the situation. Prior inquiries have revealed possible connections between Diddy and 7 fatalities, as well as 4 attempted murders. Adding to the unsettling nature of these allegations, reports indicate that Diddy himself harbors fears of being poisoned while incarcerated. A central figure in bringing these accusations to light, Jaguar Wright has made numerous claims against Diddy, some of which are supported by police investigations. As this investigation progresses and explores the alleged criminal activities and the individuals implicated, it's essential to acknowledge the atmosphere of fear and potential danger surrounding Diddy, perhaps explaining the silence of many potential witnesses. A comprehensive investigation demands a balanced perspective, scrutinizing not only Diddy's alleged behavior but also the actions and involvement of those present at the parties and gatherings under scrutiny. A crucial distinction must be made between Diddy's numerous public parties and the exclusive after-hours freak-off gatherings currently under investigation. Diddy was well known for hosting lavish celebrations, drawing a crowd of A-list celebrities, as exemplified by his star-studded 50th birthday bash in 2019. His yearly white parties, originating modestly in 1998 but growing into extravagant affairs by 2009, gained legendary status. Despite the buzz and rumors surrounding these events, Diddy consistently stressed their inclusive nature, highlighting a guest list that encompassed everyone from childhood acquaintances to Hollywood's biggest names. However, Diddy's own comments allude to a change in the atmosphere as the night progressed, after the departure of any children present. This implies that the freak-off parties were clandestine affairs, possibly unknown even to many frequent guests of his more public events. Actor and comedian Brandon T. Jackson has indicated that Diddy wasn't always in attendance throughout the duration of his parties. This, coupled with Denzel Washington's counsel to Jackson about departing gatherings early to avoid potential issues, suggests a shift towards more questionable activities as the night wore on, possibly unbeknownst to some attendees. The clandestine nature of these freak-off gatherings is further underscored by statements from other celebrities who claim ignorance of any illegal or inappropriate behavior. Marlon Wayans, despite openly admitting to attending Diddy's parties for numerous years, insists he never observed anything amiss and would depart before the alleged freak-offs commenced. This account suggests a deliberate effort to conceal these after-parties from individuals who might disapprove of or refuse to participate in the alleged activities. Further supporting this notion, Tony Willer, known as the Gay, disclosed that he was recruited for the freak-offs, specifically through intermediaries, maintaining a high level of secrecy and discretion. This recruitment method suggests a deliberate and selective process, targeting individuals perceived as receptive to the activities planned for these private gatherings. Consequently, it's crucial to distinguish between those invited to Diddy's large public events and the select few chosen for the exclusive and clandestine freak-offs. While the larger gatherings likely involved standard celebrity festivities, the after-parties allegedly devolved into something far more sinister. Growing evidence suggests a pattern of possible coercion and non-consensual acts occurring at these private gatherings, going far beyond what might be considered typical adult behavior. Diddy's own statements provide insight into the potentially manipulative and coercive atmosphere he allegedly fostered at his parties. In a previous interview, he detailed his party must-haves: an assortment of attractive men and women, plentiful alcohol, and notably, locks on the doors. He also recommended raising the temperature to an uncomfortable level, explaining that it would amplify the effects of alcohol and make guests more comfortable and loose. This calculated manipulation of the environment raises serious questions about consent and the potential for exploitation. Furthermore, Diddy appeared to acknowledge the illicit nature of his gatherings in a 1999 interview, predicting his own arrest and the eventual shutdown of his events. A 2021 search of Diddy's residence yielded tangible evidence supporting these allegations. In addition to firearms and ammunition, authorities seized electronic devices containing images and videos of the purported freak-offs, corroborating their existence and revealing numerous potential victims. Heightening suspicions, the search also uncovered an enormous quantity of personal lubricant and baby oil, indicating a premeditated and organized approach to the alleged sexual activities. The sheer volume, exceeding 1,000 bottles, led Diddy's legal team to suggest a bulk purchase from Costco, a claim the retailer subsequently denied. Within Diddy's Los Angeles residence, the discovery of 784 dildos paints an even more disturbing and perplexing picture, solidifying the impression of a setting designed for extreme and potentially exploitative sexual acts. A DHS agent's stark comparison of Diddy to Jeffrey Epstein, labeling him just as bad, underscores the seriousness of the accusations. This parallel highlights the potential magnitude of the alleged crimes and the possibility of an extensive network involving both victims and abusers. Were Diddy's parties a cover for more nefarious activities? Respond with yes if you believe they were, or no if you believe they were simply extravagant gatherings. Further amplifying these anxieties are reports of dedicated rooms within Diddy's mansion, specifically outfitted for sexual encounters and equipped with cameras strategically positioned to record every angle, including hidden vantage points. This setup strongly suggests a calculated and premeditated plan to film illicit activities without the awareness or consent of those involved. Allegations of drink spiking further contribute to the unsettling narrative of manipulation and control surrounding these events. In a lawsuit, Adria Cherie English asserts that female staff at Diddy's parties were coerced into consuming beverages laced with drugs. A former drug dealer who supplied these gatherings has substantiated this claim, stating that he himself intentionally avoided specific drinks. The mounting accusations also include Nikki Heaton's claim that, at the age of 19, she and her manager were drugged by Diddy and Kanye West at a party with the intent of sexual assault. Heaton's account underscores a potential pattern of predatory behavior targeting young women, employing drugs as a means to incapacitate and exploit them. A disturbing pattern emerges from these consistent and increasingly troubling accusations, hinting at a darker side to Diddy's parties. These allegations point to activities that go far beyond the realm of consensual adult behavior, suggesting serious criminal conduct. Details within the federal indictment against Diddy paint a chilling picture of the alleged activities that transpired at his freak-offs. The indictment outlines a pattern of coercion and abuse, describing how Diddy allegedly employed force, threats, and manipulation to pressure individuals into prolonged sexual acts with male sex workers. These encounters, often spanning multiple days, were allegedly orchestrated and meticulously managed by Diddy, who reportedly filmed the activities. The indictment further reveals the alleged use of various drugs, including ketamine, ecstasy, and GHB, to guarantee compliance and subservience from the victims. Diddy's staff allegedly played a key role in facilitating these freak-offs, responsible for preparing locations, obtaining necessary supplies, and arranging travel for participants. Diddy's ownership of a private island, nicknamed Love Island, raises questions about its potential use in these alleged illicit activities. The apparent severity of drug use is further underscored by reports of IV treatments being required following these multi-day events. Following the indictment's mention of filming, illicit sex tapes have surfaced within Hollywood's black market. Attorney Ariel Mitchell, representing Adria Cherie English, verified the existence of these tapes and described attempts to preemptively purchase them from those involved, a strategy known as catch and kill, to prevent their public release. Especially alarming is Mitchell's assertion that one tape depicts Diddy and another individual, described as more high-profile, who was apparently unaware of being filmed. This strongly suggests a network of powerful figures may be implicated in these alleged crimes. Allegations of blackmail offer partial insight into how Diddy allegedly convinced individuals to participate in these exploitative freak-offs. Evidence indicates that Diddy leveraged his influence and power to coerce silence and compliance from his victims. Aubrey O'Day, a former artist on Diddy's record label, hinted at this in a 2022 interview, stating she was terminated for refusing to participate in activities outside her musical responsibilities, despite the threat of legal action due to signed NDAs. Further evidence of Diddy's alleged exploitative behavior comes from a reporter's account of Diddy propositioning a family member interning for him, offering career advancement in exchange for sexual favors. This incident reveals Diddy's purported willingness to abuse his power for personal gain, disregarding potential repercussions. The claims of blackmail and coercion are bolstered by the experiences of individuals such as Jaguar Wright, who faced accusations of instability and unreliability after criticizing Diddy, a tactic frequently employed to discredit victims and shield abusers. The emergence of numerous sexual assault allegations against Diddy, dating from the 1990s to 2022, following his arrest, suggests that a climate of fear previously prevented victims from coming forward. Many likely felt silenced by Diddy's influence and the potential for retribution. Alarmingly, Diddy's alleged blackmail extended beyond individuals. Reports suggest he even threatened a cartel to further his alleged human trafficking operation, revealing the calculated and ruthless nature of the alleged crimes. The emerging portrait is not of a successful entrepreneur facing a simple misunderstanding, but of a powerful figure potentially leveraging his influence to orchestrate and conceal a pattern of abuse spanning decades. Following Diddy's arrest, the number of potential victims connected to his alleged crimes has exploded. Over 3,000 individuals responded to lawyers seeking survivors for legal action, resulting in more than 120 credible lawsuits across various states. This alarming range of alleged victims, from 38 years old to a shocking 9, reveals a disturbing pattern of predatory behavior stretching back decades. A particularly disturbing case involves a 9-year-old child allegedly brought to a Bad Boy Records audition, illustrating how false promises and industry connections were potentially used to exploit vulnerable individuals. This case spotlights the potential for abuse within the music industry and the power imbalances that can silence victims. Cassie, Diddy's former partner of over a decade, has become central to these allegations. Her 2018 lawsuit alleging rape, physical assault, forced participation in sexual acts with others, and drug-facilitated coercion offered a disturbing glimpse into the alleged abuse within Diddy's inner circle. Subsequently released footage of Diddy physically assaulting Cassie further corroborates her claims and those of other accusers. The indictment further alleges that Diddy used others to monitor and restrain victims, preventing them from seeking help or escaping the abusive situation, adding another layer of control. This alleged tactic mirrors accounts from Diddy's former employees who claim he wiretapped his ex-wife Kim Porter's phone to monitor her activities and conversations. This alleged surveillance suggests a deliberate and far-reaching system of control, designed to silence victims and maintain the secrecy surrounding Diddy's alleged crimes. This alleged system of control extended beyond surveillance. Diddy is accused of using physical violence and intimidation to silence and control victims. The deeply disturbing accounts from former employees alleging that Diddy broke Kim Porter's nose and subsequently arranged for a plastic surgeon to cover up the assault echo Cassie's claims of being hidden to conceal her injuries, suggesting a pattern of violence and intimidation. Adding to the accusations, Diddy's associates allegedly tracked down and returned victims who escaped, strengthening the picture of a powerful and controlling individual intent on keeping victims trapped in abuse. This behavior mirrors organized crime, with Diddy seemingly at the helm of an operation that relies on fear and intimidation to maintain control. The sheer number and severity of the accusations against Diddy are overwhelming. Consider the alleged rape of Joy Dickerson Neal while a college student. Lisa Gardner's account of being raped at 16 by Diddy and Aaron Hall, followed by Diddy choking her unconscious, and Aurelia Graves' horrifying description of being drugged, restrained, beaten, and raped while being filmed. These cases, coupled with the previously mentioned Lil Rod lawsuit, including allegations of sexual assault and a shooting cover-up, paint a portrait of a man who allegedly operated with impunity, leaving his victims feeling trapped and terrified. The investigation is now focused on uncovering Diddy's alleged accomplices and the extent of their participation. Although a complete list remains elusive, certain individuals have emerged as subjects of varying degrees of scrutiny. Preceding the raid on Diddy's home, Lil Rod's 2021 lawsuit offered an early glimpse into the alleged network surrounding him. The lawsuit mentions Prince Harry, However, it seems this is primarily to contextualize the social circles accessible to Diddy's associates, not to suggest Harry's involvement in any wrongdoing. Because YouTube will prioritize interactive videos, please comment "OK" if you find this video interesting. Thank you. In contrast, Cuba Gooding Jr. faces direct accusations of groping Lil Rod, reportedly supported by video evidence. Lil Rod further alleges that Diddy groomed him for Cuba Gooding Jr., hinting at a disturbing pattern of predatory behavior. Young Miami, a rapper signed to Diddy's label, appears in two contexts within these allegations. Lil Rod's lawsuit names her as an alleged participant in the freak-offs, employed by Diddy alongside Daphne Joy, Stevie J, and Jade. Separately, Young Miami's cousin is accused of assaulting Lil Rod in 2022, potentially linking her to the alleged network of abusers through family connections. Lil Rod's lawsuit goes beyond individual celebrities, implicating high-level music executives. Ethiopia Habtemariam, CEO of Motown Records, and Lucian Grange, CEO of Universal Music Group, are accused of profiting from Lil Rod's alleged exploitation, raising concerns about a possible system that enables and protects abusers within the music industry. The recent arrest of Diddy has coincided with a series of high-profile resignations within the music industry, prompting considerable speculation about potential connections. Kevin Liles, after 2 decades as CEO of Warner Music's 300 Entertainment, stepped down, followed by the departures of Kazuhiko Kobayashi, CEO of Warner Music Japan, and Randy Goodman, CEO of Sony Music Nashville. While a direct causal link between these resignations and Diddy's legal situation remains unproven, the remarkably close timing of these events has fueled considerable speculation and raised questions about the possibility of undisclosed internal factors or industry knowledge within the companies involved. The unusual confluence of these events warrants further investigation into potential underlying connections. Further complicating the situation surrounding Diddy's arrest is the network of high-profile relationships he maintains. His long-standing friendship with Steve Harvey, which includes a past romantic relationship between Diddy and Harvey's daughter Lori, adds another layer of complexity. Although recent rumors of Steve Harvey fleeing the country have been dismissed as unfounded, Harvey's close association with Diddy will likely continue to attract scrutiny as the investigation unfolds. The nature of these personal connections may prove relevant as law enforcement and the public seek a deeper understanding of the circumstances surrounding Diddy's legal troubles. The ongoing investigation into Diddy's alleged crimes has extended to examine his relationships with artists he mentored, most notably Usher. Usher's career trajectory, beginning with his signing to Diddy's label at a young age, is now subject to increased scrutiny. Allegations, notably those made by Diddy's former assistant Jaguar Wright, suggest Usher may have been a victim of abuse himself. Wright's account, including her reference to an incident that resulted in Usher's hospitalization, raises serious concerns about potential exploitation and mistreatment. These allegations add a significant dimension to the unfolding investigation and raise important questions about the power dynamics within the music industry. Adding further fuel to the speculation surrounding Diddy's arrest are resurfaced claims concerning an unfinished tell-all book by the late Kim Porter. An email purportedly from Porter's stylist mentions a draft containing explosive allegations, including claims of Diddy fathering a child with Mary J. Blige, a violent confrontation between Diddy and Usher's mother, and Diddy transmitting a sexually transmitted disease to Usher. Although these claims remain unsubstantiated, their emergence coincides with previous lawsuits alleging the spread of herpes by both Diddy and Usher, creating a troubling convergence of accusations. The existence of this alleged manuscript, even if its contents remain unverified, adds a significant layer of intrigue to the ongoing investigations and public discourse. The allegations against Diddy have brought to light disturbing claims suggesting a potential cycle of abuse within the music industry. Specifically, allegations against Usher regarding his mentorship of Justin Bieber raise serious concerns. Jaguar Wright's assertion that Usher may have contributed to Bieber's exploitation by placing him in compromising situations mirrors the alleged patterns of abuse within Diddy's inner circle. These claims, coupled with previously released footage showing Bieber exhibiting signs of distress, significantly amplify concerns about the potential for systemic abuse and exploitation within the music industry's mentoring structure. The recurring theme of vulnerable young artists potentially being subjected to exploitation necessitates a thorough investigation into the culture and practices that may contribute to such allegations. The scope of potential abuse within Diddy's sphere of influence extends beyond his directly mentored artists. Recently resurfaced footage and allegations have highlighted uncomfortable interactions between Justin Bieber and other figures associated with Diddy. This includes a video clip where Bieber appears visibly uneasy with comments regarding his age and attractiveness made by Odell Beckham Jr. and another unidentified individual. Further allegations suggest a connection between Bieber and Jennifer Lopez, with speculation that they attended Diddy's parties together and that inappropriate relationships may have been facilitated. While concrete evidence remains limited, these claims further fuel concerns about the potential exploitation of young artists within Diddy's extensive network. The cumulative effect of these various allegations paints a troubling picture, demanding a more thorough investigation into the power dynamics and potential for abuse within the music industry. If you like this video, please leave a number 9 in the comments below. Jennifer Lopez's connection to Diddy's alleged crimes is under increased scrutiny due to her presence at a 1999 nightclub shooting involving Diddy and rapper Shine. While Shine was convicted for his role in the incident, a lawsuit filed by Lil Rod alleges that Diddy claimed Lopez was responsible for bringing the firearm into the establishment. This claim is corroborated by Diddy's former assistant, Jaguar Wright, who alleges that Lopez had gunshot residue on her hands following the shooting. These allegations have resurfaced in the wake of Lopez's recent divorce from Ben Affleck, with Suge Knight suggesting a possible connection between the separation and potentially incriminating footage of Lopez discovered during a raid on Diddy's residence. The renewed interest in these past events, coupled with the ongoing investigation, casts a renewed spotlight on Lopez's role in her relationship with Diddy. Long-standing rumors regarding Jennifer Lopez's relationship with Diddy have been rekindled by recent events, prompting speculation about the potential consequences for her personal and professional life. Unconfirmed reports of leaked recordings and the reasons behind her recent divorce from Ben Affleck remain largely speculative, but they nonetheless highlight the potential ramifications that could arise from the ongoing investigation into Diddy's alleged crimes. The renewed focus on Lopez's past association with Diddy underscores the far-reaching impact of the unfolding scandal and its potential to affect numerous individuals within the music industry. The extensive network surrounding Diddy's alleged activities has also brought other prominent figures under scrutiny. Leonardo DiCaprio's past attendance at Diddy's parties has prompted some to question the nature of their relationship, though DiCaprio's representatives have been quick to state that the two have not been in contact for an extended period. Similarly, Pink's reduced social media activity has fueled speculation, but currently there is no verifiable evidence linking her to Diddy or the alleged offenses. These instances highlight the wide-ranging impact of the investigation and the scrutiny faced by individuals even tangentially associated with Diddy. Megan Fox, who has publicly acknowledged past connections with Diddy, also exhibited a significant decrease in her Instagram activity in 2021. Considering Fox's documented history of hypersexualization within the Hollywood entertainment industry from a young age, it's arguably more likely that she may have been a victim of exploitation within Diddy's alleged network rather than a participant in any wrongdoing. This perspective adds another layer of complexity to the narrative and underscores the potential vulnerability of young women in the entertainment industry. The ramifications of the investigation into Diddy's alleged crimes extend beyond the entertainment industry, impacting the professional lives of athletes and musicians who have publicly sought to distance themselves from him. While Stephen Curry's association appears to be limited to a single casual social media interaction, LeBron James's history of socializing with Diddy raises questions about his awareness of Diddy's alleged activities. The investigation's reach highlights the far-reaching consequences of these allegations and the scrutiny faced by individuals with even tangential connections to Diddy. Meek Mill's relationship with Diddy is under increased scrutiny given their extensive collaborations and public appearances together. Lil Rod's lawsuit includes allegations that a Philadelphia-based rapper matching Meek Mill's description, engaged in inappropriate conduct with underage girls and sex workers aboard Diddy's yacht, and was romantically involved with Diddy. These allegations, coupled with suggestive lyrics in Meek Mill's music and his defensive social media postings, cast a significant shadow over the nature of their professional and personal relationship and require further investigation. The close association between the two individuals necessitates a thorough examination of their interactions and potential involvement in the alleged activities. The nature and extent of Jay-Z and Beyoncé's relationships with Diddy, as well as the connections between Diddy and the Kardashian family, require further investigation and dedicated analysis given their prominent positions within the music and entertainment industries. The intricate web of relationships necessitates a thorough examination to fully understand the potential scope of any involvement. Separately, Ashton Kutcher's close friendship with Diddy presents particularly serious concerns. Their joint hosting of Diddy's final white party, coupled with the existence of online footage allegedly depicting their interactions with underage girls, suggests a potential shared participation in questionable behavior and raises significant concerns about their possible involvement in Diddy's alleged network of abuse. This relationship merits close scrutiny given its potential implications. Ashton Kutcher's relationship with Diddy goes beyond a simple friendship. Their financial backing of TinyChat, a platform known to attract underage users, raises serious questions about their judgment and motives. While Kutcher's representatives claim he feels betrayed by Diddy and fears retribution, his past history of questionable behavior and associations with controversial figures cast doubt on claims of innocence or naivete. The financial investment in TinyChat, coupled with his close relationship with Diddy, requires careful scrutiny to assess the full extent of Kutcher's potential involvement or knowledge of Diddy's alleged activities. The close financial association warrants further investigation into the intent behind their support of a platform notorious for attracting children. The expanding list of alleged participants in Diddy's alleged criminal activities and the potential for further disclosures has generated a climate of fear and uncertainty within the Hollywood and music industries. The prospect of immunity agreements being offered to witnesses in exchange for testimony about Diddy's actions introduces another layer of complexity, forcing individuals to weigh the risks of self-preservation against potential legal consequences. This environment of uncertainty and potential legal jeopardy significantly complicates the investigation and hinders the pursuit of justice. The possibility of deals further obfuscates the truth and creates a challenging environment for investigators. The unfolding investigation into Diddy's alleged crimes has exposed a disturbing underbelly within the entertainment industry, revealing significant power imbalances, widespread potential for exploitation, and the troubling complicity of those surrounding influential figures like Diddy. As further information emerges, it is paramount to center the experiences of survivors and ensure that perpetrators are held accountable for their actions, regardless of their status, influence, or connections. The gravity of the allegations requires a thorough and impartial investigation, prioritizing justice for those who have suffered harm. The investigation should serve as a catalyst for systemic change within the industry to prevent future instances of exploitation and abuse. This examination of the allegations against Diddy has unveiled a hidden, darker side of Hollywood, a stark contrast to the often presented image of glitz and glamour. While it is vital to uphold the principle of presumed innocence until proven guilty, the sheer number and gravity of the accusations, spanning several decades, compels a serious confrontation with uncomfortable realities concerning the abuse of power, exploitation, and the pervasive culture of silence that may have enabled such alleged behavior. The investigation serves as a stark reminder that even in seemingly glamorous industries, the potential for serious wrongdoing persists. Several key lessons emerge from this extensive investigation. First, the allegations against Diddy underscore the fundamental principle that fame and fortune provide no immunity from accountability for one's actions. Second, the courage demonstrated by those who have come forward to share their experiences highlights the immense bravery required to speak out against powerful individuals. Their voices must be heard and supported unequivocally. Finally, this case serves as a stark reminder of the collective responsibility to foster a culture that unequivocally rejects abuse and empowers survivors to seek justice and healing without fear of reprisal. The investigation should act as a catalyst for systemic change to prevent similar abuses in the future. This is just the tip of the iceberg. The investigation is ongoing, and the full extent of the alleged conspiracy remains to be seen. The information presented here is based on available public records, interviews, and allegations. We are not making any judgments on the guilt or innocence of any individuals mentioned. But one thing is certain: the story of Diddy and the celebrities caught in his orbit is far from over. What are your thoughts on these shocking allegations? Which celebrities do you think are involved? Share your theories, opinions, and insights in the comments below. From scandalous headlines to stark prison cells, the stories of these 23 stars serve as a stark reminder that fame offers no immunity from the law. Their choices have led to consequences that ripple far beyond the silver screen. If you found these stories as eye-opening as we did, be sure to subscribe for more deep dives into the dark side of celebrity. Which of these cases surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments below and tell us which celebrity scandal we should cover next.